Hi, parents. Deacon John Wilson here, Education Enrichment Director for West Angeles Church, where our pastor is Charles E. Blake II, who I faithfully serve in this great ministry of God. And listen, recently I came to you with a video about Culver City and that situation where they're cutting out honors classes because they're concerned about the number of Black and brown students taking AP is lower than white and Asian students. I would say still was pretty high though there involved. We'll go back and watch that video, but it's an indication that a lot of these things are starting to happen here in our public schools in Southern California. And I want you to be sure that I'm sure that West AEEP is following this situation very closely, because I'm deeply concerned that Black and brown students can be left behind when well-meaning white folks, some Black folks, feel that it's in the best interest of them to paternalize this and determine that our kids can't handle, advanced math or should be held slower. Everybody should go slower to allow them to stay with them, stay up with other students. All those kinds of things are frankly despicable. They're going to lead to fewer Black students doing STEM majors or being involved in STEM careers in the future. And I'm going to do a series of videos starting here on what we recommend for your home, what maths they should be taking. And I want you to be vigilant, parents, especially my 6th and 7th grade parents. Make sure you have a pathway to take Algebra I in the 8th grade. Insist on it. Don't let them decide for you. If your students are weak in math in 6th and 7th, I'm going to have the answer for that at the end of the video. We have some great programs here at West Angeles this summer to strengthen the math in your 6th and 7th graders coming out of the pandemic. I'm deeply concerned that they're going to just cut out Algebra I down here too, like they tried to do in San Francisco. Let me show you an article of what's going on in San Francisco and what one parent has had to do. Let me go ahead. Here it is right here. I'm going to make it bigger so you can see it. San Francisco USD's delay of Algebra I has created a nightmare of workarounds. Man, this is a Black parent. Well, I should say a Black guardian. I'm gonna call him an educational guardian for his granddaughter, Rex Ridgway, and of course David Margulies. Both of them are in the Save Math group community that I'm involved with, because things in Northern California, the parents are pushing back in a way that they were doing in Virginia. They are making some headway. In fact, they've actually sued the San Francisco Unified District over this issue of Algebra I in the 8th grade. Let's get into this. I'll include a link to this article down below, as I usually do in the comment section. But it makes you have workarounds as a parent. And let me just point out something to you before I get into this. I have a dilemma as an education director. Do I spend time giving you the workarounds? Yes, I will. I'll show you how to get around this and have your student ready, and how you can use the state law to make sure you get what you need for your students. And I can show you how to deal with this. But parents, you have to take an interest in it. And I know you are, or you wouldn't be listening. I need my upper grade parents to take an interest in this, to tell your friends about this. But I, as a director, have to decide on, do I tell you about workarounds? And I should. But I also should fight against taking away Algebra I in 8th grade as an example, and all these other, quote, equity-related changes. It does not help Black and brown youth to remove Algebra I from the 8th grade. And I'm seeing it down here just begin, because see, it's in middle school down here, and coming out of the pandemic, they may feel they can pull Algebra I. A lot of students came out of the pandemic fine, about 1/3. They should be progressing through their math classes. It just takes a little more work. But parents, I need you as 6th and 7th parents to start finding out whether your youth will be able to take Algebra I in 8th grade. Now, of course, they can still take it in 9th, but what does that mean when you take it in 8th? Because you get on a track to take advanced math. And this is why our youth don't always get into STEM. It'll develop that love and confidence in math. Algebra I in 8th grade means Algebra II or geometry in 9th or 10th, maybe one then the other. And same thing with 10th grade. But then they get to take pre-calculus in 11th, and they could take AP calculus in the 12th grade. And this is why we don't have a lot of Black students taking it, because there's paternalization going on. How come my private school students get to take calculus? Because they take math in the 8th grade. Now, of course, parents, you can do workarounds. When you get to 9th, you can do some things in the summer between 9th and 10th. Because if your student can demonstrate proficiency, they can get around it, as you'll see in a moment. Now let's get back to that article real quick. I'm not going to be too long before you, but I want you to read this article. It talks about all parents want opportunities for their children to excel academically. However, reaching the top in math at San Francisco Unified School District, it's like climbing a cactus tree. It's going to hurt. In 2014, I highlighted the key parts. SFUSD, and this could easily be LAUSD coming up here, denied access to Algebra I for all 8th graders, regardless of their preparation and motivation, justifying this with the word equity. It's supposed to be equal opportunity to succeed, and we shouldn't be trying to control outcomes. San Francisco USD subsequently claimed success, but inquiring community members were denied the access to the supporting data. Obtaining data through public record requests, the district's success claims were exposed to be misrepresented. Of course, what that led to was a nightmare of workarounds for Algebra I. Rex Ridgway, one of the writers of this article, has had to put his student into advanced programs outside of the school, and then he's had to fight to make sure she could move ahead into advanced classes. Look what he says here. I was compelled to place my granddaughter into an Algebra I course this summer before her 9th grade year. This cost $860. I resulted in her being prepared to take both Algebra I and geometry in 9th grade. Courses are designed to be sequential, so problematic to take them simultaneously. She earned straight A's in both courses and is currently taking Algebra II. There you go. And now we're going to talk about that workaround. There's other ones too that don't cost $860. I will certainly tell you about those. Not in this video, but I will very soon. And here comes the key part, parents. I want you to see this. It is important for parents to be aware that the Education Code 51228.2, shout out to Catherine Jordan for reminding me of this the other night. Thank you very much. And the 2015 Math Placement Act make it illegal for districts to force students to repeat classes they are already proficient in. Therefore, workarounds enable students with resources to move forward on the pathway to calculus. Sadly, these workarounds are a financial and a time strain on many families. There you go. And that's how we get behind other students, and it appears to be we're behind. Because they get ahead, they can spend the money and do these things to get around it. But I'm going to show you how to do it for no cost. Okay? You can read this article on your own. It's very interesting. Look at this. In addition to high school calculus, better preparing students for it in college and making college applications more competitive, taking AP calculus enables testing out of the college calculus requirements. Now, I'm not as fired up about that one, but it certainly makes it easier for you in college to take it, because it turns out that students are still, colleges and engineering especially, are still requiring the students to take calculus after they took AP, but they get credit for a liberal arts. They get to graduate sooner if they do AP. because there's some things about AP calculus, but the fact is they get to take calculus at all, even if it's not AP, because they're ready for it by the time they're 12th graders. If they take Algebra I as an 8th grader. I mean, you can read this article on your own. There's a lot more here. Some of you might be wondering also, you might have some wonderment of what does the federal government have to say about this? Well, it might surprise you what they have to say. Here's an article, A Leak in the STEM Pipeline, Taking Algebra Early. This is from the Department of Education, ed.gov website, and they seem to support it. I'll give you a link to this too, but you can see how a lot of students can take it and don't. Listen, if your student can take Algebra I, don't let some counselor talk them out of it. Get early access to it. You can see the benefits in these charts and graphs on the screen here now. But down here deep into the article, I found this little gem. Here it is. Taking Algebra I before high school, such as in 8th grade, can set students up for a strong foundation of STEM education that open the door for various college and career options. Again, you might say, well, come on, they're not going to be engineers, but how do you know? They're very young. Anything can happen when they start to love and enjoy math that leads to a love of applied science, because it's just using math. And a lot of our students who want to do engineering can't do well in college. They change their major. It happens over and over again because they don't have a good math background. So if you want your student and our students in general to have more access to higher paying jobs, Algebra I in 8th grade is very, very important. And therefore, there should be workarounds to ensure they get it early, or to jump one of the maths early so they can get calculus in that last year, even pre-calculus, because sometimes if you get delayed, you won't even get pre-calculus that last year. There's a strong push to not give it to 12th graders lately. You have to fight all the way for advanced math parents. All right, I'll have a link to both those articles, the article and to the website by the Department of Education that seems to say that Algebra I 8th grade is a more beneficial way. Thank you very much. God bless you. Bye-bye now.